Hey guys, it's Bear. It's Friday, April 10th, 2015, and tonight actually marks 5.5 months since I started tea. Tonight's video, I'm going to do a crossover, use the same video for both YouTube channels that I'm a part of. One is one is my personal YouTube station called Bear the Bear that I've been doing, for the past 6 months, documenting my transition. And the other one is a new station, or a new channel called Life of T-Men, and what that is every week we all talk about the same topic. And this week's topic, it's week 2, and this week's topic is names. I actually had my name legally changed just over 2 weeks ago, and so I wanted to do a video on this anyway, so it's just sort of fortuitous that I use the same video for both channels. My name, I've been called Bear for over a decade. My birth name is really girly, and I really don't identify with that name in any way other than it being kind of unique. It's not a very typical name. That's probably the only thing I ever liked about it. But I've always had kind of sort of more masculine nicknames within my group of friends because I just wasn't a very girly girl ever. And they gave me the nickname Bear a long time ago. It was from a Harry Potter spoof where they all had different names, and the character Ron's name was Ronnie the Bear, and it fit, and they started calling me that, and it didn't take very long for me to actually start introducing myself that way. And I think of myself as Bear, I introduce myself that way. It's my preferred name, and I always meant it to be my name as I transitioned, and in fact it was pretty much the first thing I did when I was questioning whether or not I was trans or wanted to come out or actually transition. I went around to everybody in my life and I said, please stop using my birth name. I really am uncomfortable being called that name. Please start calling me Bear. And it took a little while, but people are pretty much 100% there. I don't really hear people mess up and call me my birth name anymore, so that's really cool. Not too long ago, maybe about 3 months ago, I started to get really unhappy having to go by that name legally. I would go places and present as male, get addressed as male, and then occasionally, you have to kind of hand over an ID or something like that, and I'd have my birth name on it, and it would out me as being a female. And so I just got to the point where it was causing enough anxiety that I decided to go ahead and legally change my name. And when I was, contemplating turning in the paperwork where you have to put what you want your name to be for the rest of your life, I didn't like just using Bear and my last name. It was two very short names. I wanted something a little bit more formal. I wanted a first, middle, and last name. I wanted something a little bit more professional, for business cards and so forth. And so I did some soul searching, and I chose my grandfather's nickname. And my grandfather's name was Nichols. His last name was Nichols. And so his nickname was Nick. And he died when I was pretty young, and so my only memories of my grandfather were of him being called Nick. And for a long time I actually thought that his name was Nick Nichols, which it clearly wasn't. But I always really liked the name. I thought it had a good ring to it. And when I started thinking about it, choosing a first name, it was the first thing I thought of, and it was the only thing I kept coming back to. I kind of played around with a lot of other names, and I kept coming back to Nicholas. I also thought that it was kind of a clever way to honor my family. A lot of times parents will choose, a grandfather or an uncle or whoever, a family member, for the name of their child. I did not ask my family anything about what they would have named me if I was a boy, or what boy names they liked, or anything like that. But I thought that it was just a clever way for me to give myself that, was to use my grandfather's preferred name or my grandfather's first nickname. You know, so that's where Nicholas came from. So my full name is Nicholas Bear, and I'm not going to tell you my last name on YouTube. So yeah, that's how I chose the two names. That's actually my legal name. It's been changed. I'm still following up on the legal name change. The actual court date and everything like that was super simple, but there's a lot of follow-up. You know, I mean, that's my file of name change follow-up documents. The process is long, it's expensive in my state, but in my opinion, for myself, it's been 100% worth it. Like I said, I no longer feel that anxiety handing over my ID. I got new business cards done. I feel more comfortable advertising myself and trying to get new business in, because it's not, my name is not automatically outing me anymore and, you know, causing me to explain things. So it's been expensive, it's been a little tedious, but 100% worth it. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about on this video really quickly is the topic of transgender people's birth names. I feel very comfortable talking about my transition, you know, and answering questions about it. Probably the one thing, well, there's probably two things that I feel are inappropriate to ask, and the number one thing that absolutely, like, bothers me is when people ask me my birth name. Like, if I introduce myself to you, if you've only met me as Bear, I don't want to tell you my birth name. I don't want to be associated with that name. I don't want people to think that when they look at me. And quite honestly, quite frankly, it's really personal information. And so if you are somebody that knows a trans person, you know, please don't ask them their birth name. Please don't refer to them that way with new people that have never heard their birth name. Yeah, if you meet a trans person, they're telling you the name that they associate with and the name that they want to be called. So, you know, please don't do that to them. It's just a very, very personal question, and it's sort of an irrelevant question as well. That's not me anymore. It never really was me, like I said, and legally it won't be for the rest of my life. So there's really no reason for you to know other than blatant curiosity, and that's okay. But just don't go there. If a trans person wants you to know their birth name, they'll tell you. So that's it. Thanks for listening to my video. Like I said, or watching my video rather. Like I said, it's going to be on both channels. Make sure to check out the other T-Men and One Cis Females videos. I'm excited about this project moving forward, so please subscribe to the channel. And thanks again. See you next time.